Hey friends. So I've had a sense as we approach the new year. This has been a really interesting holiday season, and I spoke a little bit about this yesterday, because I've felt kind of a poise or a centeredness in the midst of the holiday chaos, the inevitable and desirable even holiday chaos. I've had a sense that, not only am I kind of anchored in a place where I feel like I have been able to not just withstand, but actually embrace and kind of integrate the chaos. But I've also had the sense that a really significant level of processing has been able to happen, not just in me, but in everybody in my whole family. It feels like we have been willing and been able to show up and take on whatever patterns were showing up. That's kind of the name of the game, family life, right? It's like, what are the underlying patterns? What's the psychological, emotional stuff that gets activated when we get around each other? And what can we do with that? Can we actually embrace that? Can we hold it with a level of objectivity and ultimately care, gentleness and care, and it, because it's not all, because we can't, because sometimes you can't, sometimes you fall off, or it overwhelms you, or you have, it hooks you emotionally and pulls you off center or whatever. And I think, while there have been moments of that maybe this time through, but I've had a sense that overall everybody's kind of showed up, and we've been really willing to be vulnerable, to be available, to be in service, and to not look away. There's the hardest thing about patterns and about facing family stuff is that it makes us want to look away. We want to, when stuff comes up that's uncomfortable or that is triggering us in whatever way that we get triggered, the first impulse is to just pretend like it's not happening, and a lot of times the retreat is into rationality. We rationalize, we talk, we take solace, and we take refuge in logic. Well, this is why this has happened. This is why I feel. This is why I just have to do this now. Whatever. When it's clearly just a there's some kind of emotion or some kind of psychological thing happening that we just don't want to face. And my general experience is, as soon as we look away, now we're at the mercy of the thing. Now the thing has got us. Now it's going to run us. Now all of the ill effects of it that we are trying to hide from are going to happen to us because we're not willing to look. We're sort of like trying to run away from it. Um, and I, God knows I've had that experience. God knows I've seen I've been, in plenty of groups where it's clear that that's happening. But this time, there wasn't a lot of that. There's a fair amount of showing up and kind of everybody absorbing. I just felt everybody taking in taking in whatever they were feeling and receiving, and a fair amount of just facing right into it. And I think what that's left me with is a feeling of, because it's kind of like, this is like the downslope of the holidays. We're about to have New Year's, but in my family, where most of us will be already kind of spread back out again by then. Most people will be out of town. Things will be settling a little bit, but it leaves me with a sense of really having I've had another wonderful session with a client this morning, and we're talking about the new year, talking about our words for the new year, our intentions for the new year, and I have a sense of, for everything that I can be critical of in myself over the past year, and there are those things, there's also a sense of real satisfaction and real accomplishment. And it gives me the sense that 2023 is kind of like the road is opening up. I have a real sense of opportunity and a kind of joyous movement, joyous forward invitation into the new year, which is a great place to be. It's a great place to be. Because of course, there's almost never probably going to be a year when I don't look back and think, "Oop, wish I'd done a little more of this. Wish I'd done a little less of that. Wish I'd been a little more focused in this way. Wish I'd been more rigorous." I talked about the difference between, for someone like me, discipline and rigor, where loosely discipline is just kind of like doing practices in a very disciplined way, but without really connecting them to the deeper purpose. Whereas rigor really feels like, okay, I'm consistently evaluating and making sure that the way I'm spending my energy is not just a disciplined practice, but is on target. I know I'm going somewhere, and I'm going where I want to be going, and I'm continuing to check in with that. That's one of my big takeaways from this past year. It's one of my intentions for the upcoming year. But I think what's striking me today is just a sense that this has been a really wonderful, formative year. It's the last couple of weeks of just being with my family and connecting as a family, connecting to those deeper structures in ourselves, being willing to look at some of that, talk about some of that, has given me a sense that it's okay that I've made a few mistakes. It's okay that there's some things I still need to work on. And I'm excited. I get to be excited about doing that work. I get to be, it feels like something to look forward to. It doesn't feel like something, a burden or a weight to carry. It feels like the increased responsibility that I feel and the increased desire for service feels like a gift. Like a gift I get to unwrap. 2023 is like a giant present I get to unwrap day by day. So it's good. It's a good feeling. It's a nice place to be landing as the as 2022 kind of comes to an end and 2023 gets ready to kick off. So that's where I am today, one day before New Year's Eve. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate you. Much love. I'll see you soon.